The McKinsey PST, it's enough to strike terror in the heart of even great test takers. And the McKinsey PST is really the ultimate test of whether you're ready for the case interview process. I'm Jenny Rae, the Managing Director of Management Consulted, and I'm here today to talk about the all-important McKinsey PST. First of all, I'm going to talk about what it is. Second, I'm going to talk about who it's used for. And finally, I'm going to talk about how you can prepare. So first of all, what is the McKinsey PST? The McKinsey PST is a problem-solving and reasoning test that is 26 questions and it's timed over 1 hour. It is meant to test a number of different things. It's both your ability to do math and come up with insights, as well as your ability to pull nuance out of what may seem like some vague explanations. It's meant to test the range of things that you will need to do to become an effective consultant at McKinsey. So it starts with stakeholder management, how to understand what somebody's asking for. It moves on to data analysis and interpretation, and it comes up with finally some conclusions and insights that you'll need to drive to. Ultimately, this test is a really big challenge for a few key reasons. First of all, it's timed and limited. You have a very small amount of time for each question. Second, there's an abundance of information that you can easily get lost in. And these are the exact things that McKinsey is testing for. They're testing for your speed, and they're testing for your proficiency in gathering the most important information really quickly and making sure that you focus on it in your insights. Now, who uses the McKinsey PST? In the US, it was used for many years, but in many offices, they're actually phasing out the PST in the US. Internationally, however, it's still a very popular filter as a first round, or maybe more importantly, as a round zero part of your interview process. But one of the reasons that it's used internationally as well is because it's also testing for your mastery of the English language. Finally, it's really critical that you understand how to prepare for the McKinsey PST. There are many ways that you could go through the process, and you ultimately don't have to invest thousands of hours in it, but here's our number one recommendation. First, start with case interview practice. If you have begun the case interview process, you'll understand structuring and data analysis inside the case interview. This is a filter not for who would be great at the job, but ultimately who would be great in the case interview process, because that's going to be a further test that you'll go through. So they're meant to eliminate people that they think won't even be good there. So if you start with a case interview prep, you're actually jumping ahead to building some of the skills that they're going to look for inside the PST. You need to practice PSTs, and you need to practice them timed. It's important that they're timed, because with only 1 hour to answer 26 questions, the biggest feedback that we get is that people are not able to complete the test. In addition, you need to make sure that you eliminate answers before you get started with the problem by reading all of the answers first. So you get down to a limited subset of answers, maybe 1 to 3 of them out of the 4 or 5. So that you can then look for the information that will confirm those as you go through. In addition, you need to make sure that you look for answers that not only are true or possible, but are true in every situation. McKinsey is looking for the best out of maybe a subset of potentially good answers. Finally, once you're done with working through a practice PST, it's really helpful for you to understand that you need to go back through each and every one of the questions, the ones that you got right and the ones that you got wrong, to understand why they were right or why they were wrong, and why the right answer was what they were looking for. You're trying to get into the mind of the test taker. If you follow these examples, you're going to do great in the McKinsey PST. If you need help preparing for the McKinsey PST, we have tools and coaches at Management Consulted that will help you prepare. So please come visit us at managementconsulted.com or reach out to us on social.